How could I be a therapist? Just imagine it. I can't calmly and meticulously talk to a patient for 20, 30 or 40 minutes to find out about their medical history. I achieved my personal best when I didn't leave hospital for 3.5 days. I was in the emergency room and worked in the department all the time. In total, I spent 3.5 days there. I took cat naps between surgeries and patients. When I left, I was really exhausted. Actually, I left only because I missed sunlight. Performing a surgery remains imprinted in your mind. In my opinion, it's very hard work, which is psychologically hard. Yes, it's rather psychologically than physically hard. When it's over, your legs start to buckle and you feel effect of adrenaline wear off. In this case, I always say that I've run out of petrol. Give the camera. When you've performed a surgery successfully and brought a person back from the dead, you feel a surge of adrenaline. You're filled with excitement as if you were somewhere on the top. Because you can save people. You are the only one here. It's like the sixth sense, the feeling which is on an intuitive level. You develop it over the years after you've performed multiple surgeries and gained considerable knowledge. Your hands already do work automatically. However, there are some moments when you think you shouldn't touch something yet, but wait a little. Leave something out. You just feel it and then realize that there can be an additional blood vessel. If you damaged it, it would lead to heavy bleeding. It happens sometimes. Lift it a little.
Снизу возьми. Вот он, да? Микулич, дай.
You mustn't work alone here because medicine, especially surgery, is a work which involves many people.
Особенно хирургия – это труд многих.
A surgeon can't perform a surgery on his own. So surgeons need assistance. Then they need a doctor who'll continue treating a patient in the hospital room. Successful work depends on the doctor. A nurse or an assistant who takes care of a patient until they recover does hard work too. Does a good surgeon have a talent given by God? They must have something received from God. You can be a good surgeon, you really can. However, some surgeons are brilliant. Whatever you do to be like them, you can't reach their level, while it's easy for them. Do you think your gift is from God? No, not at all. I don't think I'm a gifted surgeon. As I've said, there are very few of them. How many surgeries have you performed in total? To tell the truth, I've never counted. Why not? I didn't feel the need to do it. Do you count unsuccessful surgeries? Well, I remember them. However, they are not publicly announced. They're like a thorn in your side and you always remember about them. If you encounter a similar situation again, you know what to do. It's impossible to avoid mistakes in medicine, especially in surgery. Unfortunately, there is a symmetry behind every surgeon's back. It's not because they did it. The thing is, it's not always possible to help everyone. There are some unpleasant moments in your practice. They did happen and you feel ashamed of them. There are some people who care only about the result. They work only with the patients who they're 100% confident will recover and who haven't had any complications for 10 years. They select their patients and it helps make a name for themselves too. They say they don't have complications. They will find 1,000 reasons to reject another patient who probably will have complications. This never happens in our work. When we take a patient, their condition is serious, and only experienced doctors and of course the head of the department can work with such patients. The head of the department has to correct others' mistakes too. We don't even consider that he shouldn't work with some patients. He just does it and will always do. Yes, that's all. There is a big difference between the cases when a patient dies on the operating table and an hour or an hour and a half after you performed an operation. It's the same as when a close person dies in your arms, although you don't even know this person. Sometimes after this you don't even want to approach an operating table for at least a day or two. It's difficult to deal with such blows. Telling the truth, he experiences such minutes of depression. Actually not minutes, but a day or two of depression. However, they are very short. A person cannot avoid being worried, which is natural. Everything seemed okay, they prepared for a surgery and then it happened. Lift with both hands. That's all. Illuminate the wound. Do it from beneath. Stitch it up. Of course, sometimes life gives you unexpected blows. My wife was a doctor too. She was a gynecologist. She had ordinary ARVI, which was treated. The treatment seemed successful and everything was okay. Then she developed a complication. It was pneumonia, which affected her heart and led to myocarditis. Of course, it was treated. She felt bad in the morning. I called an ambulance. They got an ECG, and according to the cardiology team, there weren't any serious problems with her heart. We went to a cardiology center. When she had cardiac arrest, I brought her to the intensive care unit on gurney. They started treating her and inserted a pacemaker. In 2 hours, it was over. Did you understand that she was passing away? I did understand it perfectly. However, I couldn't believe it and thought it was a bad dream. It was Sunday, October the 31st. It was a sunny day. When I went out, I saw that people were driving cars, walking, and life went on. I felt it all. At that moment, I started understanding the people I said the sad news to.
Может, оно и нужно было мне, чтобы я где-то пересмотрел свои взгляды.
Maybe I needed it in order to change my view of life and the way I understood my work and the other people who suffer such tragedies.
У которых случается такое несчастье.
I like coffee, especially a mixture of 2 or 3 varieties. I didn't used to like coffee so much, but later I became a true coffee lover. On average, I drink 7 to 8 cups a day. Coffee aroma puts me in a good mood. Sometime later, I came to work. I did it about 2 weeks later. Life went on. I thought to myself what for and why it happened.
У меня была мысль, за что. Почему?
Did you resign yourself then? I realized it. I realized that it happens in our life and everyone has their own way. Their own way in this world. Everyone has his or her own time in this world. First, he lost a close person and second, remained with two small children. His second child was very young. He had to work at the same time and our work isn't easy at all. Yes, perhaps it was very difficult for him during the first month. However, I can say that he was able to get back on his feet quickly. I suffered from persistent insomnia and chronic sleep deprivation. I remember the period when I knew that my youngest daughter had to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, eat, and then she slept until morning. Sometimes I fell asleep and she started to fall from bed. It would wake me up and I would catch her. It happened. But everything was all right. Everything is okay now. Once I've heard that according to the WHO, the average life expectancy of surgeons is 45 to 52 years. It sounded regrettable and it got me a bit. It's my job, which is always connected with tragedy and pain. I always see it. You should live today and now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't recall all the good and bad events which happened in the past, because they've ended and won't repeat again. I especially like when patients come and then leave being hopeful and grateful to you. Sometimes you can see it. It's the reason why I try to do my best every day. Relatives, roughly speaking grandchildren of the old ladies he operated on, visit him. I find it right. It means that people know and remember that he's reliable. They go to him out of habit because they know they can rely on him.
После потери супруги,
When my wife died, I realized that I needed a partner who would help me to bring up my children.
с которой я буду растить своих детей, возможно.
Probably would have children together. However, it was hard for me to accept this idea. I just knew that this person should appear in my life when the time comes. Thus, I didn't try to make it happen sooner. It turns out that I lost my husband while he lost his wife. I was a widow and he was a widower. 2 years later, my close friend introduced us to each other. First, we didn't like each other. We even said it to our friends and relatives. Now we're in love. I'm happy. Thanks to him, I realized what women's happiness and mother's happiness mean. I've changed completely. My friends noticed it too. I've become more open and good-natured.
Более стал открытым, более добродушным.
Of course, I can still be harsh. Anyway, I love and appreciate life more, and you can notice it too. My eyes are bright and sparkling now. People always ask what happiness is. Happiness is in your daily routine. You wake up in the morning and thank Allah for giving you this day. One more day.